All right, now it's time for the reading portion of our lesson. And in the reading portion, is where we, first of all, explore notes and notations, how they relate to each other, and then we want to get the counts written out on these things so you guys understand exactly how you should be playing them. And then, of course, later on, we'll do the demo, and this is a great thing for you guys to practice. Okay, so I think the first thing we should do is get the counts written out on these things and just explain how these things work. Very similar to lesson 1, but in lesson 2, like I said, we're adding the 8th note to our mix here. So we'll get going with the first reading exercises here. All right, exercise number 1. Just so you guys know, these things are not actually labeled 1, but when we're doing the demos, these would be 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so on. So, all right, but for our first exercise here, we want to just write out the counts. So first of all, we've got 4/4 time again, which means we need to have 4 beats per measure. And you see that the measure is marked off with the dividing lines here. So that means we need to equal up to 4. And of course, you can see that the quarter note is the basis of the 4/4 time. So we'll just go ahead and write the counts out there. All right. But at the actual first measure, we have half notes. So remember that you get 1 hit and 1 rest for each half note. The 1 hit, rest for 2. 3 hit, rest for 4. Quarter notes, each of them gets 1 hit, no rest. And then our 8th note. So for these, sorry I keep going over top some of these and bottoms, but we would have 1. Remember this 8th note, so we gotta have an and. 2, 3, and 4. I hope that makes sense. It takes 2 8th notes to make 1 quarter. So 2 8th notes are occupying the same space as 1 quarter would. You can see the relationship there. And then on the final measure, we have 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And always remember your repeat, which means you go back to the beginning and you would start all over again. And then when you got to the repeat the second time, you would stop. That's going to be the case throughout all the music. So, all right. And since I messed up the counts on these, I have to write really small. The bottom should stay at the top. But exercise number 2, you have 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Measure 2, 1 and 2 and 3. Rest on 4. Measure 3, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and then measure 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. All right. Exercise number 3 here. Come on, pencil. All right. Got 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, rest on 2, 3, rest on 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4 of resting. So I know this is kind of somewhat boring maybe and somewhat monotonous, but if you really want to learn to read drum music well or any music well, this is a process you kind of have to go through. Learning to read music and write music out is just like learning how to read and write out actual words. It takes a long time and it takes a lot of practice. But like I said, if you really want to do it, you can. All right, exercise number 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. And then measure 2, really fun one. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Next one, rest on 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, rest on 4 because that's a quarter note rest. Then, and always, of course, I didn't say it, but make sure you observe your repeat signs. Exercise number 5. We have 1, rest on 2, 3 and 4. 1, rest on 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. And finally 1, 2 and 3, rest on 4, and don't forget to repeat. So we're about halfway done with those. A couple more to go. Heavy on the chord notes on these. That should be a 9. And 10. All right, so 1, rest, play 2, rest on 3, play 4, rest on 1, play 2, rest on 3, play 4, 1, rest on 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4. Again, re-emphasizing, you can see no matter what combination of notes we use, whether whole, half, quarter, or eighth, and the corresponding rest, you see that it's got to equal up to 4 because we're in 4/4. So if you don't equal up to 4, you didn't do it right. Number 7, we have 1, rest on 2, play 3, rest on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, which you would play all. 1, rest on 2, play 3, rest on 4, rest on 1, 2, 3, and then rest on 4. Repeat. Exercise number 8. Rest on 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest on 1, play 2, rest on 3, play 4. And then 1, 2, and 3, rest on 4. All right. Just a couple more here. 1 and 2, rest on 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, rest on 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. And the final one, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, rest on 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, rest on 4. All right. One thing I wanted to mention as well, one tip for practicing before we go on to the next reading exercises. Of course, I would recommend playing these as written. Of course, you would start off and play each exercise individually. Go through it, of course, do the repeat. But if you really want to give yourself a challenge once you get good at these, try playing through the entire sheet nonstop as if there were no rest. So what I mean is you would start from this measure, you would go, then go to the next measure, and just keep playing through each of the measures. And that's really a really useful exercise, because when you're playing actual snare drum music, that's what's going to be like. So you'll give yourself a good challenge and a good eye workout and a good reading workout. And another tip I was going to give you as well is, I know it suggests starting off at 65 beats per minute, but once you feel more comfortable with the notes and how to play them, and you're playing them really well, hey, go up to 75 or maybe even 85. Go as high as you can. And that just gives you a really good start in playing all kinds of different notes. So, all right, now let's go on to our next set of reading exercises.